Good morning. So pleased that you could join us today. Tax season is fast approaching, and today we will be answering your questions about how you can put more money into your pocket with California's Earned Income Tax Credit, the Cal EITC. Really pleased to be joined today by Maria Mugica from the Orange County United Way, who's going to help answer your questions about Cal EITC and everything else tax and finance related. Maria, thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you. To get us started, tell us a little bit about the work that you do at the Orange County United Way.
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me. It is a pleasure to see you and work with you again. And yeah, to be able to let people know about free tax preparation services if they're eligible. So I am a program manager for Orange County United Way. And the program that I oversee is the OC Free Tax Prep Program. And we provide free tax preparation services for low and moderate income families and individuals who are eligible. And our threshold is under $60,000. If you make under $60,000, the majority or the average that of the people that we help are usually under $30,000. However, we will help people up to $60,000. I, as a part of the program, oversee the marketing, community relations, staffing, grants. And then my colleague, Omid Mazagian, he's our tax expert. And he's the one going to the tax sites. He recruits and trains all the volunteers and also helps to oversee the rest of our coalition of other members who help to provide free tax preparation services.
Well, it's such a great service, such an incredible program. I know you've helped so many of the constituents in my district, but I think oftentimes folks don't know about it. And so one of the things that we want to do is make sure that we get the word out and that people know that resources are available. It can be really hard to navigate completing your taxes and hard to know programs that you qualify for. And so really grateful for all the work that you are doing in this space to help our constituents on this. And it's not that the first time that we worked together, back in, I guess it was the 2019 tax season, we worked on our tax event on the e-bus in Costa Mesa. Tell us just what were some of the takeaways from that event?
Sure. That event could not have happened if it wasn't for all the support and resources. So it's actually our state, the Franchise Tax Board, that provided the bus. And the bus is a fully loaded mobile unit with computers, printers, Wi-Fi. It allows us to go to people, to residents, and to people that we wouldn't normally serve because maybe they didn't have access to it. It allowed us to partner with you and also to support your constituents. We did not have a location in Costa Mesa. We chose Costa Mesa because there's a lot of eligible residents for not only tax prep, but the California Earned Income Tax Credit, which we will talk about a little bit later. And it allowed us to go there. And there were people who didn't even know about our service, but because of partnering with you, the Franchise Tax Board, and the promotional materials that we could hand out, we were able to get new people who didn't even know that free tax preparation was possible. And with free tax preparation, people are generally saving at a minimum $200 from having to pay a preparer or use another service. So it's just a great way for us to be in the community, get to cities and zip codes that we're not normally in if we don't have a physical location. And the bus just makes it easy to get there. All the equipment we need is there. So it's not like we have to set up a new room or something. The bus is there. So hoping, right, when the pandemic's over, that next year we can partner again, hopefully have a bus again and provide it in this unique pop-up event kind of way.
Yes, definitely looking forward to that. The pandemic has certainly altered every aspect of our lives. And in this case, it has because the bus is parked for this tax season, but we still want to make sure that we get the resources out there and provide help for community members that need it. So how have you adapted? How are we bringing services to the community in our kind of, virtual Zoom world that we're all living in?
Yes. Well, our program, as well as many, had to adapt. So it was a year ago, mid-March, we had to close all of our sites. So traditionally, VITA, so the OC free tax prep program is connected to the IRS, and the core of the program is really VITA, which is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. And we rely on volunteers, and our clients that we serve generally have just been used to us being physically present. They come to a location, they fill out their paperwork, they sit with a volunteer. It takes anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes to do a tax return. And in the past, we were traditionally across from each other, or even on the bus. They'd wait for us, but then they'd come on the bus and sign their paperwork, that kind of stuff. So we had to shut everything down just along with everyone else. The fortunate thing was, though we couldn't do in-person services last year after March, by June, we created a new virtual program in partnership with a nonprofit called Code for America, and their program is called getyourrefund.org. And they fortunately had already been doing a pilot program, and they were slowly trying to roll this out. And then the demand and the need just all shifted that into we have to do this now and be prepared. Now, last year, if you remember, the tax deadline had gotten extended to July 15th. And so we had a couple months to be able to take care of some people virtually. Now, what we noticed and discovered with the virtual, first of all, not everyone's comfortable with that, whether it's seniors, if English is your second language. And I think we've also discovered there's a technology divide, that people don't have a computer, or they don't have Wi-Fi or things like that. So we did our best through July last year to do virtual. So this year, when we were making plans, we knew we had to provide some way for the people that just could not do virtual to get support. So we have 3 programs this year, 3 different methods of doing taxes. So we have our virtual, and our virtual program, people had to upload documents. However, there are Orange County volunteers on the other end doing your taxes for you. They were trained by us, they're reliable, and people can have their taxes done virtually. The next thing, and this is where we were trying to solve the problem of those who could not do virtual, but how to stay safe. And so the next method is called drop off. So we have a few locations where, thanks to some of our county partners and city partners, we had a physical location. Only the volunteers were inside the building, socially distanced, safe, following strict guidelines, and clients needed to drive there themselves with a family member, friend, make copies of their tax returns, and they would leave their copies with us. They would then move on. They stay in their car. They hand in their tax documents, their copies, to 1 or 2 volunteers that are outside. They leave, we call them, they either come back that day or another day to pick up their taxes. So they're able to see someone physically in person, and yet there's minimal contact, masks, and we're all being protected. But that was our way of being able to support people who are not comfortable with virtual. And then our third one is DIY, do it yourself, through a program called myfreetaxes.com that our United Way Worldwide created for us. So we have virtual, drop off, and DIY.
Okay, terrific. And you've got such an incredible network of volunteers. I know volunteer tax preparers who are supporting the program and have many of them, I think, have been volunteers for years, which is incredible. So if folks want to get connected with the, one of these three options, virtual drop off or DIY, where can we find out more information about that?
So here's the website, ocfreetaxprep.com.
Okay.
And
correct. And I think we'll put that in the comments. So
perfect.
people can click
Yeah.
on that. Okay.
Start there. All the information and ways to contact us and find a location is there.
Okay, wonderful. And again, just to confirm, anyone who is an Orange County resident who earns less than $60,000 a year, you said, is eligible for this free tax preparation service.
I would say yes, that is the start. There are a couple of things that would keep someone out of scope. I won't go into those details, but for the most part, a simple tax return with some things, yes, they would be eligible. But here's the great thing. Usually wherever you go, whether it's one of the United Way sites or somewhere else, someone will spend time on the phone with the appointment to make sure you're eligible before you get there. So
Great.
The start is under 60K OC resident, start there, and whatever location you pick, someone will go over questions with you to make sure that we can work with you and that there's just a few things that would make you out of scope, but again, I won't get into those details.
Okay, all right. So for the most part, residents under 60,000, it's certainly worth reaching out and starting that process with you.
Yes.
Wonderful. So let's talk about California's Earned Income Tax Credit, Cal EITC, which really is a way for families to put hundreds or sometimes even thousands of dollars into their pockets. Can you tell us a little bit more about Cal EITC and particularly what is new this year?
Absolutely. So the California Earned Income Tax Credit, Cal EITC is what we'll be calling it from here on out, is a refundable California state credit, and it was created by the governor and the legislature in 2015. It's a way to help low-income working families receive extra funds. They work, they might be under a certain threshold. This is a way to bring more money into their pockets. Even last year, they added the Young Child Tax Credit to go along with the California Earned Income Tax Credit. But the good news for this year, brand new this year, is that residents who have an individual tax identification number or ITIN number, they work, they pay taxes, and now they may be eligible for the Cal EITC. So if that particular person is making under 30,000, it is highly likely that they are eligible for the California Earned Income Tax Credit. So we've made lots of changes since 2015, from extending it from 18 to over 65 to anyone under 30,000. And now adding ITIN holders, but it's also whether you are a W-2 worker or you work for yourself. It opened up eligibility that's even different than the federal. There's a federal tax credit, which it's supposed to supplement, because the research is out there, because the federal Earned Income Tax Credit has been around over 40 years and has proven that it has helped the lives of those who have received it, and their children are healthier, stay in school, go to college. There's lots of research. So California adopted something very similar to add to it.
Yes, and as you said, at the federal level and at the state level, the Earned Income Tax Credit program really is one of the most powerful things that we can do to put more money into the pockets of hardworking families and help to alleviate child poverty and create opportunities for these children to succeed. So, and just to clarify, because we had a couple questions from folks. So am I eligible for Cal EITC? the threshold generally is anyone earning less than $30,000 a year as a single filer.
Yes, actually, even as, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, under 30,000.
Okay. So that's who's eligible. And how can I claim the EITC? If I think I'm eligible, what do I need to do?
Well, you have to file your taxes. That's the thing. So sometimes the people who would receive the most may not have what is called a filing requirement. Sometimes people only made $10,000 or $12,000 and they think well, I don't have to file it. And so it's just easier. So I'm not going to. Yet they would be very likely to receive possibly both credits, but you must file your taxes. And it is called the earned income tax credit. So it's not a handout. You earned money, but you're still under a certain threshold. So you file your taxes for free with OC Free Tax Prep, and you possibly could receive this. So the program that we use figures it out itself. And then if somebody has to go do it themselves or with a paid preparer, just make sure you ask about it. But if you're with a VITA program, it will automatically calculate.
Right. And I think the message we just want to drive home is, like you said, it's not automatic. You've got to complete your taxes. You've got to file taxes in order to claim that. And every year we end up seeing, hundreds, thousands of people are leaving lots of money on the table. So we want to make sure that when people are eligible for programs like this, that they're accessing those resources. And another question we've gotten is, how much money can I expect to get back from the Cal EITC?
If you'll allow me, I have my notes, because it depends on a few different things. So for sure, if you make under 30,000.
Yes.
If you have no children, the possible credit is $243. And yet if you have 3 or more children, the credit could be as much as $3,000. So this is a chart. But again, until you're actually doing your taxes and having it calculated, that is exactly how you'll know exactly how much. These are estimates, and there might be a few other things to consider, but that's about the general.
Right. And as you said, we've got, with the Orange County United Way, we've got resources available to help people file their taxes for free and help folks navigate that and hopefully get some more money back in their pockets. So as we all know, the past year has been truly devastating. We're more than a year into this pandemic and this public health crisis, and many of our families, our small business owners, our hardworking families are really, really hurting right now. And as one of the things that the legislature did actually just a couple of weeks ago with the support of the governor was we enacted a statewide economic stimulus package, which included a number of things, but it also included the passage of the Golden State stimulus. So Maria, tell us, what do Orange County residents need to know about the Golden State stimulus?
What the good news with the Golden State stimulus is that if you are eligible for the California Earned Income Tax Credit, you are also eligible for the Golden State stimulus. So residents may receive a one-time $600 or $1,200 payment. What is also wonderful about this is, yet again, California is including those who file with an individual tax identification number, an ITIN number. And with that, because ITIN filers, they are paying taxes, they have not been eligible for any of the federal stimulus money. But in California, they will now be eligible. So if they qualify for the Cal EITC, they will receive that stimulus. However, there's a special section that if an ITIN filer makes under $75,000, they may be eligible for a $1,200 stimulus payment. Things to remember about this: you must file your taxes. I would do it as soon as you can, but no later than October 15th. That you have to file by October 15th so that you're in the queue and you'll get your payment by November 15th, because then that's it. It's for 2020 tax year, 2021 tax season. So, but all good news. And if you file your taxes, that's all you have to do. And then they'll make sure the money gets to you.
Now, so let's talk about the tax deadline date, because you said October 15th. We usually think of April 15th as tax date. That deadline, the deadline for regular filing has been extended to May 17th. So, but you mentioned October 15th. So just help us understand, help folks at home understand, what are the deadlines and what does that mean for taxpayers?
Absolutely. Okay. So yes, we got extended to May 17th. I think that is very good news, because federally, tax law changes happened with this latest stimulus about unemployment, and we can talk about that in a sec. Unemployment taxes and things like that. So it's actually good that we have one more month to help us all figure things out. So the recommendation is get your taxes filed by May 17th. What generally happens though is that, and especially if you know you're going to owe money, it's very important that you file your taxes by May 17th, because otherwise you'll start getting, penalties and things like that. If you don't owe money, you have the luxury of waiting until October 15th as your final deadline in order to get the stimulus. So my recommendation is file on time. File by May 17th while everyone's who is up and running and doing taxes. However, if there's some delay, you're not going to owe money, don't wait past October 15th if you want to receive the Golden State stimulus. But I still recommend do your best to get your taxes done on time. You now have an extra month till May 17th.
Yes. And so that is the official deadline. And as you said, that is when any kind of penalties or interest would start accruing for anyone who does owe money on taxes. So so it's not April 15th, but May 17th is the new deadline. And you mentioned that one of the reasons that this has been extended is with some of the new federal programs that have been rolled out. There's some new things for people to consider, including, as you said, some tax law changes around how unemployment insurance payments are being treated, including on the treatment of the federal stimulus checks that many of our families have received throughout the pandemic. So help us understand, what do taxpayers need to know about some of those changes?
Sure. So here's the good news. So the stimulus payments, whether you received them last year, I believe it was $1,200 and then a $600 in January if you were eligible. And now a new one was just signed into law, which should be about $1,400. A stimulus payment, you do not owe taxes on that. It is your money, free and clear. You don't change your tax status. You don't have to pay taxes on it. The important thing to know, though, that was a shift, if you had unemployment income last year, or if you were on unemployment last year, there is now federally, they're waiving taxes on the first $10,200. So that is good news, but it threw a little wrench in there because some people had already filed their taxes, had to pay their taxes on that unemployment income, and then they weren't sure what to do. And IRS needed to figure all that out as well. So here's what I know right now. The VITA program, we use a platform called TaxSlayer. That's been updated. So if you're going to do your taxes now, and you had unemployment, it'll work. It's fine. If you had already filed your taxes and you had unemployment and you paid taxes on it, you do not have to do anything else. You don't have to file amendment, nothing. The IRS is going to reconfigure and send you the money that you are owed. And it's only the federal that was even taxing it. The state of California was not taxing unemployment. But now federally, you've got a little waiver on the first $10,200 of it.
Great. Well, and I'm glad you said that, because I assumed that folks would need to, file a correction or something like that. But what you're saying is, most people, a lot of people have not filed taxes yet. I know I always wait till the very last minute. So if you haven't filed, if you did receive unemployment insurance, if you're filing now, programs and code has been updated so that will be dealt with correctly. If people already did file and maybe overpaid taxes because they were receiving unemployment income, you don't need to do anything else. The IRS will recalculate that and send you a refund if you're entitled to that. So that is
Correct.
good. That is more good news. There's rarely good news. I feel like there's rarely good news when we're talking about taxes, but today we're filled with good news. And also just to confirm on the stimulus payments, because I know I've gotten some questions about that. That's not being treated as income. So people don't need to include that when they're reporting their income. You do not need to pay taxes on those stimulus payments if you've received
Correct.
those from either the federal government or from the state government. Well, great, Maria, you've been a wealth of knowledge and shared, I think, really valuable information for folks listening at home. Are there any other things? What else should we know? Anything else you want us to know?
Sure. Well, I'll just reiterate. Tax season extended to May 17th. Make sure you get your taxes done. An important website, ocfreetaxprep.com, and all the locations, all the things we've talked about is available there. And then what else did I want to say? Yeah, even if you don't have a filing requirement because you only made under $10,000, you are likely incredibly eligible to receive a lot of additional tax credits to come back to you. So that's it. And we're not going anywhere. So next year we should be up and running, and you can always count on ocfreetaxprep.com to check it every year when you're ready to file your taxes.
Okay, great. So there are, I think what we want, the message we want to leave folks with is that there are resources available, there's support available, and the best place to start is, again, it's ocfreetaxhelp.com. Is that right?
OC, it's okay. OC, we live in Orange County, OC, free tax prep. Prep.com, free tax prep.
Okay, OC freetaxprep.com. And I'm sure you can also find it just by Googling Orange County United Way tax prep, but yes, OC freetaxprep.com. Thank you again, Maria, for joining us today. And thank you to the Orange County United Way for everything that you do for Orange County residents. Really, really appreciate you and your partnership.
Oh, thank you, Assemblywoman. It is a pleasure to be with you, and I look forward to partnering again.
Yes, absolutely. We will be back on that bus next year before we know it. All right, with that, thank you to everyone who tuned in. If you've got questions, you can reach out to the Orange County United Way. You can always reach out also to our office, and we can help you get connected with resources and with help. Our phone number is 949-251-0074. With that, we will see you next time. Be safe and stay well. Bye-bye.